In any BigCommerce store, there are out-of-the-box widgets that will help store owners manage their storefront. These widgets are units of content that you can drag and drop onto specific pages in a stencil theme. The basic BigCommerce widgets can allow you to create layouts, input text, images or videos, hero banners, image carousels, customized buttons, display individual product cards or product sets, or even put HTML editors in the store layout. Now if you would like some more custom features that cannot be provided by the existing widgets, you can either add a third-party application or create some simple custom ones of your own. In this video, we will show you the basic steps on how to create custom widgets to suit your needs. BigCommerce has set up the Widgets API for you to create, manage, and apply widgets to your storefront. To create and place a widget, you will need to have a BigCommerce store, an API access token with content modify scope, and knowledge of the Widgets API. The various endpoints you will use for creating widgets are the widget templates, widgets, and placement APIs, to which you can send post, get, put, and delete requests. You also need to use from time to time the regions API. As you can see in the endpoints above, you will have to replace the store hash with the store hash value of your own store. As an example, let's take a look at the widget template endpoint. You can go to the BigCommerce Dev Center to see the documentation for these endpoints. Here, you can see the correct syntax and required fields to make a successful request to the API. BigCommerce also provides a tool for you to test your calls to these endpoints. Now let's start to create our own custom widget. To start off, widgets are placed in the regions defined in a particular page. We can also create new custom regions where we want the widgets to be in. To do this, we have to edit the store's theme files, either through the theme editor or through Stencil CLI. But if you are going to use Stencil CLI, make sure to commit and push your changes before creating the actual widget. To create a custom region, open the page template file where you will place the new region. In our case, we will be using the home.html template. In the template file, locate where you want to place the new region. Then use the region handlebars helper and key in the name of the region you wish to create. You can define any name you want the region to take, just make sure that you can easily identify it. After saving our changes and refreshing the page builder, we can now see the new region we have created in the layers section. Take note, any widget you put in a regular region will only be available in the specific page where you placed it. If you want the widget to be present in all pages using that template, you will have to add a global flag to turn the regular region into a global one. Another way to verify the new region you have created is by sending a GET request to the content/regions endpoint. Make sure to include the correct template file in your query to get the list of all the regions present. All widgets need to be placed in a region, but it is not always necessary to create a new custom region. You can always use existing page regions to place your widgets in. Now let's start to create a widget template. A widget template is a handlebars-enabled HTML template that will define the widget's structure on a page. To create a widget template, the only required fields are name and template. Sending a post request to the widget template endpoint containing these fields will be enough to create the widget that can be dragged and dropped in the page builder. You'll find this at the very bottom of the custom widgets section. Do note, however, that without a schema, no user interface for the widget will show up in the page builder. Now let's add a schema to the template to make the widget input fields editable in the page builder. Once you have incorporated the schema, make sure to edit the template to reference the ID of the schema inputs so that they will be rendered properly. You need to use handlebars to be able to do this. With the schema in place, you will now see that the widget in the page builder will have editable input fields. Let's take a closer look at the widget schema. In the schema, the first thing you have to define is the type you will use for the widget. It can either be type tab, array, or hidden. The type tab will allow you to create a single element. It will contain all the visible sections of the widget, and under the sections will be the settings for the various UI input types you would like to use for the widget. The type array will allow you to build collections of elements within the widget. You can then build the settings for the elements by using tabs, sections, and settings. You can also set the initial count and label for the elements. You can use the type hidden to set up controls which will have no user interface in the page builder. You can then use and combine these different types to create complex widgets that you might need. Here are the different input types you can place in the settings part of the schema. These input types will be rendered in the user interface in the same order you place them in the settings. After creating the widget template, take note of the UUID that is generated. You will use it in creating the widget in the next step. In case you forget the UUID, you can simply send a GET request to the widget template endpoint to retrieve the list of all store widget templates and get the appropriate UUID from there. Now it's time to create a widget and place it in a region. To create a widget, send a POST request to the widget's endpoint, and in the body of the request, we will use the UUID of the widget template we previously made. You can also add a widget configuration if you want to set the default values that the widget template will take in. But creating the widget will not be enough to display it in the storefront. You need to place it in a region for the widget to be displayed. To do this, using the UUID of the widget you just created, send a POST request to the placement's endpoint. You will need to send the values for the region and template file where you will be placing the widget. You can identify the regions where you will place the widgets, either in the Layers section of the page builder or looking at the theme files. Once done, the widget you have created and placed will be identified as a static widget in the page builder and can be seen in the region based on the sort order you have set. You can then edit it according to your liking.